What do you want? Oh, hi, everybody. This is Leslie Keith. I'm so happy to be here today with you, with my friend and colleague, Catherine Seo. Hi, Catherine.
Hi, Gail is on vacation.
Gail is still
She
on
is
vacation.
cruising somewhere where it's beautiful and warm, and we hope she's going to come back with lots of good stories.
I'm sure she is, with pictures and lots of good stories. But we are here still to visit with you about what's new and coming up with Lipedema. I'm the president of the board and the director of research with the Lipedema Project. And Catherine is the founder and director of Lipedema Simplified and the Lipedema Project. So we like to tell you what's going on with lipedema, and there's always some exciting things going on. But first, my always favorite topic, because Catherine and I are on the opposite coasts, and my weather in California is distinctly different from what it is in Boston on the East Coast. And for those of you that are in the Southern Hemisphere that maybe are with us from Australia or New Zealand, you are in a completely different season than we are. So it's going to be also very different from at least what Catherine's experiencing. Because for me, at least in Fahrenheit, it's upper 60s, which I don't know what that is in Celsius. Sorry, but it's like nice spring or fall weather for the Northern Hemisphere. But I understand it's quite different in Boston on the East Coast. Yes, Catherine?
Well, I just looked it up. Winter storm will turn into an East Coast bomb cyclone. What the hell does that mean?
I have not heard of that one before.
Oh my God. What on earth is happening? Winter storm to blast northeast.
Okay, Winter Storm Quinlan is underway already. It's going to be...
Oh my God. It says it's going to be a bad storm.
Yeah.
Well, that tells you what I'm doing this weekend.
Yeah. Yes. Staying at home.
Really?
This makes me think of a comedian I enjoy listening to, and I can't even think of his name right now, but he was talking about the names that we give to storms. And we like to say things like El Nino means rain, and a norista means snow. So we have to give it a fancy name.
That was good, Leslie. I think you should do a stand-up routine.
Norista. Yeah. So we do have a lot of interesting things coming up for lipedema. And since I am really intrigued with research with lipedema, that's one of the things that we're going to be more involved with this year. We're working with some great people that are going to be helping us on research. And so we're looking at what's the blood panel work typical for a woman with lipedema, and what might it indicate? We're also looking at what is the lived experience of women with lipedema. How is it like dealing with lipedema, trying to get a diagnosis, trying to manage the conditions. And so we are getting from the women's own voice what it is like to live with lipedema. So that's some of the research that we're being involved in. But there's just been a tremendous amount in the last 10 years, but in the last 2 years, I'm just astounded by the number of papers that have come out about lipedema, the level of awareness that has increased with lipedema. Unfortunately, it doesn't always trickle down to your doctor, your general practitioner, because they have to know pretty much about the whole world of diseases and conditions and stuff like that. So this is probably one of the last that they're going to know about, but it's getting there. I think that the awareness is increasing. It's becoming more known. So, and then hopefully part of, that's part of because of our efforts of what we're doing with the Lipedema Project and Lipedema Simplified. So, yes, go ahead, Catherine.
No, I just want to add that Leslie's really absorption in the research is so helpful to everything that we do. We've added twice a month. It's the first and third Thursdays. Is that right, Lesson? Where
Yes.
Lesson's going to be doing a Facebook Live. We had our first one last Thursday. It was fabulous. She reviewed a paper on vitamin D, and we had great attendance. People came from all over the world. So the first and third Thursdays of the month at 3 o'clock Eastern Time, noon time Pacific Time, 3, 4, 8 o'clock in the UK, 8 p.m., 9 o'clock through Europe, and it's early in the morning in Australia and New Zealand. So
The next day.
Yeah, the next day. So what we did is we tried to figure out a time that would work for the most time zones.
Mhm.
So be sure to tune in. Again, this is what's new and coming up with lipedema. We are going to be adding, we use circles. So for all those who are interested, it's access, it's in lieu of Facebook, because lots of our ladies complained about Facebook. They didn't want to be on Facebook, and we all know why. I mean, there's so much yada, yada, yada about it all. So we set up in Circle, and Gail is going to be doing a weekly live on Circle, which you'll be able to have access to. And it's going to be introducing all of our coaches, and they're going to be doing tips and what you need to know. I'm going to get on with her so we can just do some riffing and laughing at some point. Leslin and Gail will be on at some point. It's just going to be an ongoing lipedema live with Gail and whoever she gets.
So Catherine, when would you say that that the Circle as a platform for us, for Gail and all of us to be on, when is that going to be available to everybody?
Yeah, Circle's available now to everybody.
Oh,
And
okay.
so I'm going to put, we're putting more in the Facebook group for the tribe, and we're going to send out a couple of announcements. Thanks to, actually, it was Nicole from Vermont who, in one of our group sessions, she really pushed that Facebook just wasn't the place. And this is live on Facebook, and we still use live on Facebook. But there were so many concerns about Facebook for our private conversations. So it took us a few months, and we found Circle, and Circle is up and running. And we are going to be having more and more activities there. But it's taken a couple of months. We went live in January. It's
And
now March.
that was live for just the tribe members, not
No,
for
it's
the
for everybody.
for everybody. Okay, see, I'm so behind on this, all the technology stuff.
Yeah.
Very good.
And so, but there are different sections. So we
Yes.
have some sections that you need to have membership in order to be part of that section. Same like in Facebook. There's Facebook groups that are for everybody, and then there are Facebook groups that you have to be a member of. Similar in Circle. So someone asks, Nicole asks, are they going to be recorded? Yeah, they're all recorded and then available as you want. And I'm on the more emotional side. And so on emotional, I put me emotional, spiritual,
Psychological.
psychological.
Mhm.
Yeah. Physical to some degree, but definitely the others. And so on Sundays, I just do a riff. I just talk about what's going on. I've been talking a lot about the Real You project because that's very deeply impactful for me and others. So I've been talking about that a lot. But more than the what it is, the underlying issues about it from a
Yes.
very personal, it's my personal vlog. And so come if you want. It's recorded and it's on the Lipedema website, Facebook group, and it's on YouTube. All of us, it's the same thing, that same places that this is on.
Mhm.
So however you're watching this, that's the same way you can watch any of the other things that we're doing.
But if someone would like to be with us on Circle, where do they go to do that?
That's a good question.
And that's what a Facebook user posted that. Is it an app?
You
Or
go to
what do they
Circle.
do?
No, you can go right to Circle. Or you know what to do? Send an email to support@lipedema-simplified.org. That's the
Yes.
best way. How do
Yeah,
you get
that
to
is
Circle?
that
Is
is
it
the
an
best
app?
way.
Yeah, it's called Circle. Yeah, send an email that you want to get into Circle, and our tech team will send you instructions. Because I'm thinking, how do they get in? Mostly I give names to Isla, and she puts everybody into Circle. Thank God for her. She's our director of operations. And my God, she knows more than any one of us.
I know, and she always anticipates needs, and she's already there before you know you need something. And she's just absolutely incredible.
Yeah, she really is. So, what else is coming up? I'm going to talk very briefly about the Real You project because I've been talking about it a lot. And then I'm going to ask Leslyn to talk about this symposium because it's phenomenal. The Real You project is a master class, and it is the side of what we do that is the emotional, the spiritual, and the psychological, mental side more than anything else, because it's really about our feelings, our perceptions, our judgments about ourselves and our bodies. It's something that I've dealt with for a lifetime. I feel like I've had great deal of progress, but I'm still working on it. We have it'll be a masterclass for 10 weeks. It starts on March 17th. And I put the link to information about it right above in the caption. So there's a link, so go and check it out. If anybody wants to discuss it, please feel free to send me an email and we'll set up a time to chat. There's going to be a fireside chat about it on Tuesday of this coming week. And I just sent out an email about that. And Rod Flores, who is one of the photographers that works with us, he came on this past week. He was so moving. Oh my God, he brought tears to people's eyes. He's a burn survivor, and he's a photographer, and he really he looks through the lens of the camera with such sensitivity and such caring that it's really remarkable. So anyway, that's the more emotional side. I'm going to turn it over to Leslyn, who's going to talk about keto and the physical side.
Okay, because that's something else we do have coming up is Lipedema Simplified and Lipedema Project, along with some great sponsors, are putting on a virtual symposium that's going to be happening April 29 to 30 with a post-symposium workshop on May 1st. And I've had the pleasure of working with Siobhan Huggins to develop the program for you. And I think that we've come up with a stunning program that you're not going to want to miss. And so this is all being held virtually. It's going to be half day Friday, all day on Saturday. And then the post-symposium workshop will be a half day on Sunday afternoon. And it is action-packed. We do have quite a few speakers, a lot of names that you might recognize from the ketogenic community, because this symposium is the ketogenic revolution for lipedema and lymphedema. And it's followed up by that post-symposium workshop is a deeper dive into carnivore, which is animal source nutrition, and how is that going to support lymphatic and fat disorders. And so just to give you an idea of some of our speakers, clinicians, researchers, people who have lipedema or lymphedema or both and are using nutritional strategies. So we have Amy Berger, a nutritionist, Dr. Eric Westman, who has been doing a keto medicine clinic for over 20 years at Duke in North Carolina in the USA. Brian Lenskis, an internist and general practitioner in San Diego, California, who uses keto nutrition. We have Carrie Reedy, who is she's one of our coaches, but she's also a nutritionist from Australia. And Megan Ramos works with Dr. Jason Fung doing ketogenic nutrition and fasting. And she's going to actually be partnered with Gail Straker, who you all know and love, who is using fasting herself to manage her lipedema. And so they're going to be talking about that. Dr. Brett Scher, you may know him as a cardiologist who works with Diet Doctor, which is a huge website platform run by Andreas Einfeld, a physician from Sweden. And we're going to have a fabulous interview with Dr. Paul Mason and Dr. Gabriela Ferber from Germany, going to be talking about her amazing use of ketogenic nutrition for women with lipedema in her clinic for over 13 years. And so that's going to be quite astounding to do that. And then Magdalena Jerzak, she's a nutritionist from Poland who has a nutrition clinic in Poland, and she works with women with lipedema. And she is looking at the interesting correlation between lipedema and SIBO, which is small intestine bacterial overgrowth, and how nutritional strategies can help with that. And of course, Siobhan Huggins is going to be speaking because she is a young researcher. She has lipedema herself, and she has really brought together some interesting information in new ways and come up with some new theories. So she'll be talking about that. We are going to have Amber O'Hearn, who is really one of the premier authority on carnivore animal sourced diet. And she's going to be talking about that. And Ken Berry also, Dr. Ken Berry, who is a physician from the US, who's going to be talking about how he uses this way of eating for many of his patients. And it's particularly good for chronic conditions like lymphedema and lipedema. Catherine is going to be talking about her short carnivore experience, or how she uses it temporarily to address particular issues like getting ready for surgery. And we have several other patients that you might have seen before. Kelly Bell, who has some interesting perspective on keto versus carnivore, or plant-based keto versus animal source keto. He is an engineer, so he keeps excellent data. So that's going to be wonderful. And we have some women from our community, women with lipedema, like Zeet Hutton, who is going to be speaking. I just can't say enough about this incredible lineup of speakers that we have. And we are just so excited about putting this on.
And we have an early bird special from now till the beginning of April. So it's, wow, it can't be mid-March already.
I know it is.
It's mid-March already, almost mid-March. It's March 11th, so it's close. This weekend is sort of mid-March. But anyway, between now and the end of the month. The other thing is, because we've gotten a couple of emails about this, I want to say that our approach is a conservative approach. It's not that we don't recommend surgery. That's not our area of focus or where we've found the most results for the women that we work with. So we work with conservative measures. Our holistic approach is physical, mental, psychological, emotional, spiritual, social. That's the realm that we work in. And people have asked us, the Fat Disorders Resource Society, they have a conference that's also happening in April. They're much more focused on surgical interventions. You know, whatever it is you're looking for, find out what's right for you, because there is a lot that you can do. Again, our approach is one of conservative measures. What can you do yourself today? How can you start today to make a difference in your life?
And also in that idea of conservative measures, it's really holistic. And that's why we're looking at, the mental, psychological, the emotional, the spiritual, the physical, and the physical includes nutrition. And so this particular symposium that's happening in April for us is really focusing on that aspect. But we will be having another symposium also in the fall, in October, that will be focusing on all of the other aspects. So, and as Catherine said, those conservative, non-invasive measures of something that you can do immediately, some changes that you can make immediately. One person, Mira, posted that she tried keto and it didn't work. And let me tell you just a little bit about our global coaching collaborative, because sometimes you need some guidance, you need help, and not just with keto. We have coaches that are going to look at other aspects of managing lipedema as well. So I don't know if we can post that link to our coaching collaborative, Catherine, but we do have coaches from around the world that speak a lot of different languages. And hopefully there'll be someone that is in your time zone and can address your needs. But if not, we have people, that meet with someone in England, and they meet with someone in Australia. It's okay, because it all works online. But we have coaches, in Turkey, in South Africa, in the US and Canada and Australia, really around the world. And they're ready to work with you on just about any aspect of lipedema management. And they can do things like, our keto coaches can help you figure out, just because it's keto doesn't mean that particular food is not going to create inflammation in you. And they help you figure out how they can make your eating plan the best it can be for you.
So I put the email address. Someone asked for the email address. You
Excellent.
can send anything to us at support@lipedema-simplified.org. One of the things that we're doing, since this is what's new and coming up with lipedema, we're in the middle of revamping our websites. And one of the things we're doing is creating something called the Lifestyle Center, which is where all of the keto and the conservative treatment and the coaches, so that there's an entire area that you can go to for information, for tips and tools, for connectivity. So that center is going to grow over the next period of time. And that's something, when we were looking at it, keto and its adaptations, because we don't do keto like there's no formula. Like I remember when I used to go to the doctor, they would have this tablet, like with all the same, and
Yes.
they would take a sheet off and hand it to me and say, do this diet to lose weight, even as a kid.
Right.
And that's just not it. And so what we've found is it's adaptation and customization to you. So that's what we're in the process of building. And the coaches that Leslyn said are amazing. So they will be more available to you.
Mm-hmm. I have the privilege of going through all of the coaches' presentations and stuff like that, and doing little snippets for our flash briefings that happen daily, our little mini podcast. And I just was listening to some stuff by Glinda Van Blurk, who is a nutritionist in South Africa, and she was talking about aging gracefully with lipedema and with a chronic condition. She had some fantastic information that I didn't know.
Wasn't that amazing?
Yeah. So there's just a lot of resources out there for you. And yes, I'm really focused on keto, but we have more than that available for you at Lipedema Simplified and the Lipedema Project. And Catherine, once again, we have gone way over because it's so fun to talk about this stuff. So.
I know. We need to scoot. Okay, everybody. Thank you. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thanks for being
here. Or whatever.
Yeah, we'll see you next week.
Take care.